Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy The Real Weep, and we are back for another video. And today we will be looking at chapter 269, leaks and spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen. And as always, guys, if you guys do enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. And let's just get straight to the video now. And boys, the translations for this chapter are not 100% accurate, as we all know. The raws and the images were just released, so getting the translations and everything does take time. So right now, bear with me. These translations are obviously not 100% accurate, but they're very close to being accurate. So just bear with me. And yeah, let's just get back to the video now. Now, in the very first page, we get an editor's note saying that at a small candy store on a street corner, we see Mei Mei asking how much. We then cut to the next panel where we see that Yuta is alive and Megumi's questioning him. Just because you are back in your original body doesn't mean it's all sunshine and rainbows. About that, Maki-san. Hey Megumi, how's it going? I'm feeling a bit hazy, but is this really the effect of Infinite Void? I really want to apologize to everyone properly. Save it for later, you got nothing to apologize for anyway. We then go to the next panel with Yuji and Megumi just super confused at how Yuta got his body back. Megumi saying no way. Yuji saying I've got my own reasons. It all started with Gojo's blinder of sparing Itadori's life, and now he's tangled up with those cursed sorcerers behind the magic terrorism. By the way, I was totally on board with the death penalty for Itadori. If it weren't for Yaga-san, I wouldn't even be here. But I do think it's wrong or anything. Each truth is like a beautiful tape story woven together to create the now, so you guys don't need to feel guilty about anything. Seriously, kid, just act your age. You're making it tough for us grown-ups with just Megumi, Nobara, and Yuji just staring at him. And in this next panel, it's a very detailed explanation of how Yuta's body is returned here and how everything's completely fine. He's not taken over. There's nothing wrong with him. Everything's fine. So, Yuji questions what's the reasoning behind Ota Senpai's body returning. And this is thanks to Rika-chan. I thought our connection was lost when she didn't stick with Gojo Sensei's body, but in reality, Rika-chan repaired and maintained my body, which was treated by Iri-san using rehearsal or reversal techniques, and I thought we were done for when Saku's technique reached its limit, but that was a bit of a miscalculation. I heard that Shio was able to act even in the first building incident, and he probably divided multiple techniques intentionally, and it seems like an application of barrier techniques. What a millennium of experience imitating isn't going to match that person. We see all of them just bowing their head now, but after the technique rebooted Rika-chan as an external technique, reconnected with my body in a dead state, and that's how we got here. Sorry for worrying you all, and we just see Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara just bowing their heads, just to give some respect. But honestly, I couldn't care less about that story. The real issue is whether Yuta managed things well enough. We could have won much easier. Maki then talks about the strategies for that fight, but Todo confronts him. We first start off with Maki saying, first is Kinji's surprise attack. I should have been the one to take charge of this. And then there's Nichigura's attack using Executor's Blade strategy. If I had combined this with the remote curse words, victory would have been a breeze, but I should have let Nichigura handle the voice recorder. Curse words can't be unleashed all at once. They are considered active from recording to playback, so only one voice recorder is allowed. We then see our boy Todo respond, no way Maki, you can't be my target for the unholy game technique. Even if it's a Kotsu, it's a real gamble to think he could pull off a surprise attack without my help. Plus, to rein in the rampage of curse techniques, we definitely needed the combined strength of a Kotsu and Rika. And then the next panel, we find out that Higuruma is freaking alive, which is freaking crazy because everyone thought he was dead. We then see the little panda. The curse words worked out just right at the moment. Otherwise, the backlash might have sent me to my grave if I had used it while Sukuna was at full strength. Fish roll. Had Sukuna been just playing around, he could have easily snuffed out my life, but here I stand alive and kicking, says Higuruma. And let's not forget, curse words are pretty easy to counter, right? I was the one who decided that we should only use our techniques without Okakutsu's domain, where no one outside threats lurk. After all, no harm can come to anyone there. Still, it's downright terrifying that someone who's only been a sorcerer for 2 months is still breathing. What a prospect. I suppose I should only say that I've managed to survive against all odds. In the next one, we see Miguel and Laurel appear. Even so, that foreign ace. If it wasn't for those guys that have had appeared from the start, things would have been totally different. They said those two wouldn't show up, but they did say maybe, right? If they do come, not too shabby. And then we see in the next panel that they were watching the Gojo Sukuna fight within Rika, which is freaking crazy. And thanks to Senpai Kotsu's curse, tools we managed to hold our ground, said Yuji. That's just how it goes sometimes. Thanks to Senpai Okotsu, I was able to dive into the second domain of my homework. It was great that we could trigger the moment within Rika. I was able to chase down the cursed spirit after Gojo-san's guidance, and I managed to separate Yurume from the cursed spirit early on. This is all part of the plan, and yo, just them watching the Gojo versus Kuna fight within Rika is just freaking insane to me. Then they also mention about the swap that happened inside Sukuna's domain, but Yuji says it's no one's fault that Chozo and him weren't rescued. Now, we see we see Toto saying, "Listen, I bear a heavy burden too. I was working Nome to prepare for Sukuna's domain, yet we failed to capture Chozo and Itadori. Is it an issue with the technique's range? No, it's not just that. About the distance, it's about sheer power of Sukuna's cursed energy. The center of that domain radiates such intense energy that we couldn't suppress their cursed powers. I was right in the thick of it too, but you swooped in and took care of things quickly, so I guess I share some of the blame. It should have been the clothes that saved us. If it came to that, I would have been the one to perish. It's literally no one's fault," says Yuji, and it's not like I want to pin this on YUTA either. I got hit by the Black Flash twice after all. It's just that this guy, never mind, as we just see them all talking. We then go to the next level where Hakuri said he wanted to fight Sukuna after Yuji versus Gojo. My heart dropped at that thought. Since I was holding back as a precaution against Maki's marker and area effects, I was worried what would happen if Todo Senpai's technique saved me only. You said you were going to join the fight, remember? And if I speak up, it'll be Miss Kusaka. I feel a bit bad for not getting my turn though. What are you talking about? Your broom was super comfy to ride. I was planning to take on Sukuna after dealing with Yurume, but wow, they were tough. I was snoozing right up until the last moment, so I can't say that much. We then see that Yuyi declares that he's the MVP of the fight against Sukuna, even though bro literally did nothing to take care of Sukuna. That was literally all Yuji, Itadori, Megumi, and Nobro. This guy literally has the audacity to say, well, it seems everyone has their own reflections to share. No one can dispute that I'm the MVP. Even though you left me hanging in the middle of all of it, Kira, you're such a handful. And then this guy just starts freaking like, yo, he just starts bullying the shit out of him. Well, that's because you let your sister off the hook. Sister has really put in effort with the new shadow techniques, and freaking Total just watching, saying that's just you picking all the best bits for yourself. We then finally get a simple domain explanation. I won't deny it, my life isn't something that can be traded for gold after all. Things that can't be exchanged for money hold no worth at all. Shin, huh? Is it about the secretive restrictions of the simplified domain? And Toto says exactly, or Higuruma says exactly. The binding tradition of the simple domain, it was originally devised by the mastermind Oboroya Sadatsuna to prevent the techniques from leaking to cursed users just like Sukuna. And going into more of the simple domain explanation, through the passage of generations, you see the new shadow style has lost its public essence, and the simple realm has become, in a way, a closely guarded secret. And Yuji and Nobu are just struggling to figure out what this means. In essence, they monopolize the technique, inviting disciples while imposing unreasonable restrictions. After all, the new shadow serves as a sanctuary for sorcerers who lack techniques. Toto then looks and he adds on, with the ultimate technique of the Murashiki, I learned from the master Tsukumo, and now I've been taught by Toto himself. With Toto just there, being like just chilling, like he doesn't even know what the hell's happening. And then we have Kusakabe, the greatest master of simple domain, explain the binding and curses just cause. What's so unreasonable about the rule that Shin-Irio's techniques can't be taught to anyone outside the disciples? That's just the tip of the iceberg. I can't refuse a summon from the head of the clan, and there are all sorts of headaches that come with it. Among all the nuisances, the most troublesome one is lifespan. This isn't just some magical binding or technique, it's more like a curse that keeps you awake, and the head is actually siphoning off life force from the disciples. The shadows are set up so you can't tell who the head is. The lifetime contract exists, but whether it's actually being honored is anyone's guess. Nobara is just shocked because of the lifespan, and then Megumi like comments saying apparently, and then there's still some old timers among the disciples who have lived long lives. When the head of the clan dies, one of the senior disciples will take their place instead, but unless someone spills the beans, it's impossible to figure out who from the outside. KUSAKABE is now the head of the new Shadow style school. The ties of Shinin can only be severed by the head. To the best of my knowledge, none of the high ranking disciples have any information. Right now, I am the true head of the Shinkage, so the shackles of the simple domain and the curse of mortality are no longer a concern that he says. We then switch to a flashback with Meimei and some granny from the first page. Sister, you are such a money grabber. He looks like curses are in the subscription era now. And we see Meimei just talk to this granny saying how much, and this is about your life, you know? Questions Meimei. Why are we here? You think I'm the head of the clan? I just asked someone I know you know. No one could possibly know to gather more disciples and rise to the ranks of the three great houses. You intended to dominate the entire sorcery world along with the man headquarters, didn't you? And this old granny is just, shocked, and she says Tenjin. We now know that Tenjin is finally mentioned, and that is just a complete shock. And Meimei then confronts the old lady. It must have taken years to even drain the life force from their disciples to witness that vision, right? Truly a grand ambition that money can't buy. But there are things far more precious than money. You can't protect what you cherish without funds. There were sorcerers who have lived if they weren't shackled by the simplified domain. And this granny is just freaking like, she looks like she's on the verge of death, and she's just like shocked. The final page then ends with Meimei killing the old lady and explains the possible state of three great clans of sorcerers. What's about to happen is what I'm trying to think. Meimei then says in this panel, and now, if the Kyon family falls apart and the Kama and Gojo clans take each other down in the grand showdown, above all, they're trying to tarnish my brother's name. This was bound to happen as we see the freaking granny just being offed and her blood just everywhere. Like, yo, I don't know what is about to happen, but this just a quick summary of this whole chapter. Yuta is freaking alive. Higuruma is freaking alive. Like, bro, that is freaking crazy to me. The simple domain shenanigans is finally all explained. Kusakabe being the head of the new shadow style school. The freaking old lady appearing, and then she has connections to Tenjin and with simple domain and headquarters. And Yuta's cursed tools is finally explained and revealed once and for all. So this was quite a big chapter. Nothing too crazy happened. Just lots of explanations, just lots of drawbacks, to previous chapters, just explaining some stuff. And that was it, boys. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And just comment down below what you guys think of this chapter. Just so you guys know, the translations are obviously not 100%. These are still raw images, and we're still trying to get the 100% translations. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.